I fucking lost it.
Oh, got confiscated.
These guys are probably so psyched up, they're expecting to run for quite a distance. This could be a very, very aggressive thing.
If we don't run in on this lorry.
I'm too tired.
You need to keep moving though, thank you.
Thank you. Keep going, please, guys. Keep going, please.
Be careful, there's people behind you, mate.
This is how fast we walk when we go.
I do this 5 times a day.
I know, there's kids coming up.
I can always continue my own protest. No, I like this.
Is it? You must keep fit. You keep fit.
Unfortunately, my walking stick to make that plan. I still use my right hand. After being damaged yesterday. And you see little hand, and you see little hand. I'm walking faster than I should. It hurts my spine walking this way.
Yeah, what's the definition of slow? We're allowed to go slowly. What's the definition?
Unfortunately, it's our protest.
Because if you're judging this is slow, I don't think it's very slow, which means you're not very comfortable. In fact, you're partial towards
It's only 5 days. Most people slow down by the time they are doing. Yeah, you're pushing the opposite.
You're pushing.
Oh, come on, Leo 1A.
We're just close to you.
You're pushing in.
Come on, Sergeant. You weren't this rough in Portsmouth.
This isn't slow, really. It's quite fast. I'm going to go at the pace of the slowest to like a small child. At least the pace of a small child, I would say.
What is going on? See, this is why you don't do the arrowhead, because it does stuff like this and people like me get arrested for obstruction, which I have done about 5 times.
I'm still waiting for my arrest.
Yeah, but they're getting pulled. I get how about you want normally and I'll do
It's a bit fast, isn't it? It is a bit fast, definitely.
I'm kind of like dying here.
Okay, so just to give you a sense of how fast these guys are coming on going to run. Right, this is how fast these guys are walking down the road.
Well, why are we running? They have like
I don't like being laughed at in an unprofessional way.
You know what?
By an officer who's supposed to be protecting us.
You are increasing the risk of damage to yourselves and to us by pushing us down this road. In more ways than one.
I understand what you're saying.
Respect your officers. Can you respect your officers that they also have the intelligence to know
From all the big team cameras, I am feeling in duress. I am feeling forced to walk at a faster pace than is necessary for my protest. This shall be brought up in further complaints. Sing that, people.
I think they're concentrating. I think they're trying to concentrate on walking so far. I can't really.
Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up the fight. No. Get up,
Stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight.
No, we don't give up the fight.
it's nice and painless. I had a painless one the other day as well. Okay. Right,
No. Everybody give E.G. Mark a wave.
Road to open, people. Clear the road, thank you.
Everyone get into the protest pen, please. Leave little people and get into the protest pen.
That's not by consent of the majority of the government. It is by consent of the government. That's by consent. Anything you do against me
No, that offside.
is unlawful unless I still don't like you up.
And cons allegedly being methane contamination of American water.
Quite a bit different from America. Quite next to European markets, which means that Quadrilla and companies like it will sell electricity to the highest bidder, which
Is
could
that
be
coming
foreign.
from your local Green MP though? Because she was on the programme saying that very point. Again, I don't know, so...
Well, I mean, it's a fact. Lord Stern, who's a chief economist, said David Cameron was wrong to say that it'll give us cheap bills because we're connected to an international market.
Red Pips, is there any need to
So
walk
we'll be
this far?
exporting our cheap shell gas and importing
This is
conventional
a bit
gas.
fast. Can we
Yeah,
slow
this
it
is a
down?
bit fast, lads.
Please, slow this down!
And we'll be importing conventional gas, which is
Don't you know where
and also Bloomberg New Energy Finance, they've done some studies on
Nice and
how
quick.
financially
Yeah,
viable
this
shell
isn't
gas
exactly
is.
doing. This
And
isn't
actually,
facilitating our right to protest.
Fracking to be financially viable.
Walk with us.
Because it's
I know, because we shouldn't have to walk with you.
Why not?
Because we have a
We're
right
trying to slow down this lorry that Quadrilla is sending in here that we don't want.
What makes you think they're fracking in there?
Because Quadrilla said that they want to frack. I don't know if they're fracking in that
They
moment.
may not be fracking now, mate, but they mean to frack.
Why would they spend so many millions of pounds?
We wouldn't be here saying, being like, oh,
They've admitted themselves that they mean to frack.
they're going to be
There's oil in
fracking
there.
And they've got permission to frack from the council.
And they're going to have to frack to get it out. Yeah.
It's been capped already. Go on the research on the internet, 1986. It's all readily available to the public.
It's on the way down.
It was on the Tonight programme last night.
Yeah, go on then, frack off.
But all that information comes from Quadrilla, doesn't it?
No, it was
And also,
if you watch it, again, there's no point me telling you what was on. Watch it, and
website.
I got
it gives you
the
a fair
feeling.
overview of both sides of the argument.
Sexual healing. I got the feeling. Sexual healing.
If you were concerned about our safety, then you would slow down. That is that. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me.
We're getting
You should be looking after our safety, and you're not doing that. You should have.
It's very quick, folks. Slow down. That's very quick.
Keep walking backwards, keep moving.
That's it, keep going. You're not going to tread on him, it's fine. That's EG, isn't it? Stop! They said stop. So I just froze in the position.
If you're really worried about our safety, slow the protest down.
Take personal responsibility as well. We're all adults here. I know, I appreciate that.
At the end of the day, you have a right to respect our rights.
You've got a responsibility for yourself as well, sir.
Three-sided box.
You may want to confirm what side you want to be at.
This is what's good to have weddings on. You can do this as much as you like it.
And the guys at the tea table, make sure to write down the details on any trucks you're about to leave. Manning up. That's right.
Go.
Go! Not a copper yet.
Maybe not.
I will be.
Yeah.
Well, okay, maybe I'm a bit mixed. Can you see why? I've only been here for 3 marches, right? And I will call them marches because they are marching. I've been here for 3 of them. And if the police were genuinely here to protect us, then they would take into account that if we have the right to walk backwards, which we do, then they have to facilitate just to walk a tiny bit slower so that we can do that safely. And that is the end of that. You're not protecting us in any way or facilitating our right to walk backwards in any way if you don't slow it down.
Yeah, okay. We've got a lot of things that we're doing, though, aren't we? We're protecting maybe certain things, but we're also balancing.
But you're not protecting us. Well, there's no protection of us there.
What do you call protecting?
I would say protecting us would be to slow their walking pace down so that we could safely walk backwards.
I mean, you've been here long enough to know how fast
isn't protecting
and how we react.
Making sure that people don't climb on the lorry and get squashed by the wheels.
It's going to make absolutely no difference whether they slow it down by half a step because we've been there over these 7 weeks, haven't we? We've been there. It doesn't matter whether they're walking at a slower pace, and we've had this pace on many a march.
And people are very peaceful with that. You know, you can tell that people are quite happy with it. You know, you've been here long enough to see all this,
and we're happy to feed it back as we do. If the speed is what the speed is, there's no set speed. You know that we've already gone over this.
Yeah, and
we fed it back, and
but you're not protecting. You're not protecting the protesters.
It's not just about protecting the protesters.
No, but it seems to be much more important to protect the corporation, and that's how it looks, and that's how it looks, not just to us, but
we are also protecting the rights of other people.
Step right across, please, gents. Pull the ladies, gents. Pull the road open.
Why does it have to be this way every single march at the moment?
Well, it's not about. We're not saying it has to be.
2 days ago, we had a different force in, and they were very relaxed. They were very no arrowheads, straight lines, and we took our time.
In front of the
How many?
Yeah.
It shouldn't matter.
No, but how many?
You and I know it shouldn't
matter. How many were? So, because we've had a couple of days when no one stood in front of it, and clearly we're not going to be going slow if there's no one standing in front of it. So there are different days.
Oh, yesterday I was the only person in front of an arrowhead for a short while, and I got told that the police officers wouldn't slow down because there was only me. And I'm sorry, but whether it's one person standing in the front of that, or whether it's 10 people.
Yeah, but do you know what? And I understand the argument of your right to protest as an individual, right? But I also say that is not proportionate necessarily to the rights of other
quadrilla.
People. No, I'm not actually talking about the rights of quadrilla. They do have a right to carry out their lawful business.
Yeah, we understand that.
But there was a lot of people, as you can see, earlier when we had that the lorry before this one, there was a massive tailback in both directions, and there is a sense of proportionality as to how much we can realistically balance off against the rights to protest, against the disruption on this road, and against. Bear in mind we're now in day 58, whatever. You know, there's a lot of tolerances that we're trying to balance.
But you're not balancing ours. You're not balancing our what. You're not. No one's listening to us now.
I mean, we've had 3 arrests today. Some of the people have only been here for a couple of minutes.
But that is irrelevant.
It is. Okay, it's irrelevant, is it?
Well, it is. If someone's committed an offence, they committed an offence. It's irrelevant how long they've been on the cab.
Right.
And
that offence would be on several occasions. That offence has been walking too slowly in front of a lorry.
And that's not obstruction, and you know it, and I know it. They're not
hold on a minute.
To be a full obstruction, there has to be.
Hold on. The person that was arrested earlier, right, was warned by at least 3 officers, not to push into the actual police line. They continued to do that, and they were told that they would be arrested if they continued to do that. They were then arrested. I'm sorry, that's that's. I mean, if I was told by a police officer not to do something and I'll be arrested if I do it, then I would probably say, that's reasonable warning, I won't do that. And as per a lot of the people down here, they know that obviously they're told and warned not to do something. There's a risk if they commit an offence or suspected of committing an offence, they will potentially be arrested. So I can't.
It's difficult for me to understand how you can say that the guy was pushing into the police lines when they're pushing us down the road at such a speed that you can't help pushing into the lines. If you happen to be small or if you happen to have a slight limp,
there was a lot of other
they are going to get pushed. They're pushing into us.
Is that the case?
It is, because they're walking behind us.
I'm sorry, but you only have to look at the evidence from the EG teams, and the court looks at the evidence from the EG teams, and it's police. They are being aggravatory. They're trying to provoke a reaction. They're trying to push the line so that they can. And you know why? Because the police desperately need to be seen to be doing something. This is costing millions and millions of taxpayers' pounds. Okay, and if you're not seen to be making some sort of arrest, what are the police spending millions of pounds doing? I'm sorry.
There's been over 100
you might
arrests. I don't think we're really actually worried about being seen to make arrests. There's plenty of evidence of us.
You've got 100 police officers lining a road.
Yeah, but there's not much evidence of anybody getting actually.
Why have we got that?
Prosecuted for anything.
Well, you tell me. Why have you got 100 police officers
who have pulled stuff onto the road? There are people who have stopped the vehicles and jumped on top. There are people who have actually put a great big tripod in the road. Yes, we have got people, officers, lining the road to ensure that vehicle gets out safely.
And you think it's a good use of money and a good use of resources?
I would rather not have the officers used like that, but unfortunately, all the whilst there is a real risk, and there is a real risk, I'm sorry, there is a real risk that someone could get hurt in some of these tactics, this increased level of tactics, i.e., let's say, all right, we talk about agreements or what we've actually had in the past. So when did suddenly we start targeting the lorries when they came out? That wasn't in the original plan.
We never agreed that we wouldn't.
There was one case. No. Again, I'm ill-informed then. I know of one person that jumped on the truck.
Yeah, one person who pulled the caravan out.
Was that going out?
Well, there was nothing in the road, so it was only going to be
one waiting, just about to come out.
Okay,
stop.
Then my apologies.
And as soon as and that's like hours delay. And then obviously someone fell over and apparently were medically unable to get off the road, which I'm sure that it was the case, but clearly
was the case.
That suddenly becomes an issue. And we have to then suddenly say, well, actually, if that's the case, we're going to ensure that people don't go on the road before that moment when that vehicle comes out.
And that's why you've got is that why you've got a section 14? Currently,
the section 14
is that just for our static protest?
Section 14 is to give a designated area for a static assembly for a purpose of protesting.
Well, yeah, but you knew that wasn't ever going to happen. You must have known that we weren't just going to fucking go into this little.
No, it's not about that. It's not about that. It's about saying that if you turn around and said, right, 10 of us, let's stand there, we've got somewhere that we can direct you to and say, well, that is the area that's designated for it. That's capable of taking the static protest, and you need to go to that area. And obviously there's a power of arrest if you fail to do so, or you decide not to do so.
But can you see what I mean? Can you see what I mean? When the police are walking so fast at a fast pace,
and I have fed back, and I will continue to feed back, that your concern is that
for our safety now.
Fast. Right, okay, I will do that. Okay, I will do that. I know that I think number 3 today, whatever, slowed right down, but then yes, okay, it seems to have been reasonably sort of
accelerated.
Well, it's come down the hill, whatever, and I'm happy to feed it back again. Next week, we're going to have a weekend, aren't we? And then we're going to have next week, and obviously, hopefully, we can feed that back in and maybe resolve the issue, because we don't want to mute the protest that you have. But again, on a daily basis, there is a bit of a balancing act, and it's not quite as simple as saying today it's. I really wish that from the very beginning there was some way of measuring a pace, agreeing a pace, and we'd all be happy. I personally, even if we kept to a slower pace, I don't think there would ever be a time when everyone's happy. All right.
No, but
And
right now we're being.
Well, there has. I mean, to be fair, there has been a lot of times when there's most people are
but
happy.
when we have that, then inevitably what happens is kind of, let's say, a little bit more wants to be pinched and a little bit more wants to be pushed, and it's
We
very
feel the
hard-
same. We
very
feel the
hard to
same.
balance. It's very hard to balance it.
Yeah.
I feed it back. I will feed it back. Hopefully, obviously, as things go on, we haven't got obviously a great amount of time
No,
left
but
potentially, but we will feed it back.
what
as
I'd
we
like you to
normally
feed
do.
back, and with some emphasis, I'd like you to feed back that it's actually becoming a point of safety now. When we're being pushed down the road that fast, in a way that we feel right to protest, facing the officers, so we can look them in the eye and talk to them, and have it's important for us to be able to look the officers in the eye and see the pace and be able to match it. But it's a point of safety now that we're being walked so fast. I've got long legs, and I'm genuinely getting to the point.
Yeah.
I'm tall, but I'm also fit. I'm getting to the point where it's actually quite exhausting to keep that fast pace up, walking backwards, like we have the right to do, all that way. And it's becoming a point of safety because not everyone's as tall and as fit as me. And I do feel like
I will feed back the comments, and I'll feed back to our bronze tonight those comments. All right, but I can't. You know what? I'm not empowered to literally change
no,
things.
I understand that, but that's what I'd ask.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair enough. All right.
Thanks a lot.